This is how you grow a constant supply of radishes in a shallow window box with 3 sowing tips. And the number one mistake that prevents bulb formation is at the end. Now, radishes have a reputation for being easy, and they are, but only when you set them up properly from the very start. A window box is actually one of the best containers you can use for them, as long as you follow a few simple rules. Let me walk you through each one the way I would explain it to my own grandchildren. The first thing to get right is your soil depth. You want at least 6 inches of good loose soil in that window box. I know that sounds specific, but here's why it matters. Radishes are not deep-rooted plants, but they do need enough room beneath them to swell outward without hitting the bottom of the container. If the roots have nowhere to go, the plant gets confused. It keeps sending energy downward, searching for space, and the bulb never develops the way it should. 6 inches gives it just enough room to do its job without wasting effort. Fill your box with a light, well-draining mix. Something that crumbles easily in your hand, not heavy clay or dense garden soil. The second tip is spacing, and this is where a lot of people go wrong without even realizing it. You want to place your seeds about 2 inches apart from one another. I know it is tempting to scatter them generously, especially when the seeds are so small and the box looks so empty. But radishes are stubborn little things. They do not share space graciously. When they are crowded, the bulbs press against each other and neither one gets the room it needs to round out properly. 2-inch spacing lets each plant draw up the water and nutrients it needs without competing. Studies on container radish growing have found that proper spacing can increase the overall harvest weight by around 30% compared to overcrowded plantings. That is a meaningful difference from such a small adjustment. The third tip is what will truly give you that constant supply you are after, and it is called succession planting. Every 10 days, you sow a fresh row of seeds. While one row is busy swelling into ready-to-harvest radishes, the next row is just getting started. By the time you pull the first harvest, the second row is nearly ready, and the third row is on its way. You never have a gap. You never have a glut all at once. It becomes a gentle rhythm, a little like tending a garden that tends itself. Place your window box somewhere it receives around 6 hours of direct sunlight each day. That steady light is what drives the energy the plant needs to develop quickly. Radishes grown in shade tend to bolt toward the light and put all their effort into leaves instead of roots. Now, here is the number one mistake that stops all of that good work in its tracks, and it is the very thing I promised you at the beginning. The mistake is using too much nitrogen fertilizer. I see this so often, and I completely understand why it happens. We want to feed our plants. We want them to thrive. So we reach for fertilizer thinking more is better. But radishes are root vegetables, and root vegetables have different needs from leafy greens or flowering plants. When you pour nitrogen into the soil, you are essentially telling the plant to grow upward. Nitrogen is the nutrient that drives leaf and stem production. The plant obeys happily and vigorously, and you end up with the most beautiful, lush, dark green tops you have ever seen. But underneath the soil, the root stays thin, pale, and woody. It never rounds out into that satisfying little bulb. If you have ever harvested radishes and found the leaves tall and healthy but the root barely there, this is almost certainly what happened. The fix is simple. Skip the nitrogen fertilizer entirely. Before you fill your window box, mix in a modest amount of balanced organic compost. That is all the feeding your radishes need. Let the compost do its quiet work and then let the plant follow its own natural cycle. You will be surprised how little interference a radish actually needs once you stop overfeeding it. If you grow vegetables in small spaces and want reliable harvests without a lot of fuss, this channel covers careful container growing techniques every single week.